Hello.
How is everybody? I hear us in the background. I wonder if that's me because
Oh,
I always have like 90 million tabs open.
oh,
So I'm
I
gonna
did.
see. Do you guys hear it too, or is it just me? I'm just gonna see if I can mute
I
site.
don't
I
hear it.
don't hear anything.
Okay, good. So I'm glad at least it was only me. I just found so I have a lot of tabs open, so I just like found one random YouTube tab and just muted site and it worked. I'm like,
Oh,
who
sweet.
knows where that tab is? It could be anywhere. I was on Jess's stream earlier in the chat, so YouTube was just open like all over the place. But hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have had quite a summer break from Authortubers React. Before I let my co-hosts introduce themselves, we're going to update a couple of things. Our fabulous Zara is stepping down as permanent co-host. So if you're a friend of mine, I've got my eyes on you. I'll be looking for another permanent co-host. Esther is on the way. You guys know Esther works. She's a busy girl, but she'll be here as soon as she can get here. And Des is not feeling well. If you guys are on Des's streams, you know it's been rough. For those of us who have migraines, I don't know what is going on, but it has been a rough start to like the most fabulous season of the year. It's autumn. Fall is here. Like we don't deserve this. We deserve good times. I'm like, what is happening?
Is autumn usually better, like migraines and such?
No, usually seasonal changes can affect.
Trigger it.
So yeah, so actually no, but we love autumn, so it just should be fabulous because it is. I mean, we deserve greatness at this time of year, and we're not. It's not delivering. So I've got Barrett and Charliee, my other co-hosts, are here with me. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We're going to start with Barrett, and we'll swing it on around.
Yay! Well, thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be back. I miss everybody when we're not together. And definitely going to miss Zara, so be sure and check out Inimitable Books for all of the productivity sprints she hosts and all of the interviews with her stable of authors. Let's see. Okay, I do Writer's Room with Tiffany and Morgan the second Sunday of the month. I don't know. Tiffany's got it all together and can remind everybody if I'm saying it wrong, but I think it's the second Sunday of the month. The second Saturday of the month, I do Authortubers karaoke with Margaret Pinard, and then here with you guys once a month for Authortubers React. And Friday nights, we do prompted romance prompts, which has been a lot of fun. So yeah. Oh, medals. So yeah, that's that, and that's me. Thanks for having me.
Hello. Hello. Long time no see. I'm Charliee, and yeah, very short intro. I'm figuring it out.
Charlie's figuring things out, and we absolutely adore her. And you're here on my channel. I am Nia, the Vixen of Fiction. I'm just popping everybody who's come to hang out with us up here on the chat, saying hello to everybody. I stream regularly on Tuesday nights at 7:30, so you can come hang out with me and some of my friends there, and I'm hanging out on their channel, and I'm also over on Twitch, so you can go over to Twitch and check out my schedule over there. So Richard, you must have missed the very, very beginning. Zara is stepping down as a permanent co-host, but we're hoping to snag her back on occasion as a guest host because she is a plethora of information on the publishing side. But our girl is busy. She is running a company. Wow, she's had a fantastic year. So we absolutely love Zara. And I will be streaming with Zara tomorrow morning. So she will be streaming with the Inimitable Books. So you can catch those. So check out her publishing YouTube channel. I will be there tomorrow morning with bells on, hopefully. We'll see. It's I do the Sunday mornings with Zara, but
brutal.
you know.
I'll be there too. Half asleep, but I'll be there.
Brutal. Not for me.
And there's our Esther back finally. Go ahead and do your intro, Esther. You're right on time.
Hi, I'm Esther Marie Andujar. I'm a Puerto Rican writer aspiring to be a hybrid author. And yeah, I was late because I was saying hi to some Puerto Rican authors that I know. So we were just chatting, and I was like, I need to go. They're like, you need to go. And then traffic.
The worst.
I forget that I'm in a city now. So traffic is a thing here.
Ay.
Yes.
Well, you didn't miss
You know
much.
what?
Just
I
us chatting.
see it. I see it as an excuse to decompress before you have to socialize. You know,
Mm-hmm. This is
like
true. The ride home, as long as it's a pleasant ride. I mean, you get a lot of road
yeah,
ragers. I live in the South.
It's not that where I was, it's not that far from my home, so it's not that much time of decompressing. But this is a different kind of socialization. I know you guys, you're longtime friends. I'm not meeting anyone new. All the new people meeting was already done and in person. So we
Yeah.
did
Well,
the
here,
that. We did that.
here in the South, we have this thing called the long goodbye.
Oh yeah,
It takes an
We
hour
do
forever.
at
that.
least.
We
yeah.
You
do
guys
that
have that?
too.
Yeah.
Oh, I spend like 30 minutes saying goodbye. And every time I say goodbye, they're like, oh, but do you know this person? I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, hey, this is Esther. This is so and so. And I'm like,
Yes.
now I need to say goodbye to another person.
Yes. Yes. You've met 4 more people in the time between the time that you
Yes,
initially said
literally
goodbye.
Yes.
30 minutes since I say I need to go. It's just like, I was just like,
Yes, Charlie does have a very concise intro. She's like, "Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Charlie."
Great though. Short and sweet.
Oh. So, oh my gosh. So, a lot of things happened over the summer. I do want to let you guys know also one more announcement going forward. We're going to move to more quarterly unless something big is happening, and then I'll get with my crew. And but it will always be at the end of the month, so it'll always be like that last weekend. Saturday evening. But we are going to go to quarterly, except for we're going to do our Friendsgiving because that was a lot of fun. So we'll do Friendsgiving and just play games, chat, talk about whatever has been going on. And then we'll do the holiday end of the year fun times, wrap up, talk about the whole year as a whole. And then after that, moving forward, it'll be quarterly unless like, the writing and publishing world explodes and then we must come back and talk about it.
That won't happen.
What? No?
that sounds like it happens every
Often.
other 2 days.
I feel like we might still be on every month, but
But
fingers
ideally,
crossed.
quarterly.
We're aiming for quarterly.
Aiming for quarterly because a lot of us are actually getting to that point where we're trying to query and publish and the whole point of being here on Authortube, one, we want to build a community and be part of the community, but we're also trying to write books and publish books and get our works out there. So we've got to find a nice balance between all of the fun parts of this community and the get stuff done parts of the community. So we will still be here doing our thing, hanging out with you guys. It's always a lot of fun. This is one of the more fun things that I do. This, and I love scripting the book. So speaking of scripting the book, Dracula, we're doing Dracula in Renfield the Sunday before Halloween at the end of October. So come hang out with us and we'll talk all about it. Laura, our resident horror connoisseur, is going to be just really delving in. She's seen some wonderful things. She's got just a plethora of information. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So come hang out with us for that. I'm excited. Everybody's already talking about what they're looking to watch and they've already read Dracula. And so I'm like, all right, we're getting busy. Everybody's ready for the season. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm hoping I'm not going to be like really, really creeped and freaked out because I'm a scaredy cat, but I'm like I can handle Dracula, right? Even though my favorite Dracula did scare the crap out of me, and it's like got my favorite actors in it. You guys probably know the one I'm talking about from the 90s.
Yeah. Wow, no, yeah, I think you'll like it. And Renfield, Laura told me to watch. I haven't watched yet, but I'm gonna check it out because she was like, I
Yeah.
have to watch it. So it's on the list.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, even
excited to watch it.
the cringy ones, I think all of the Dracula adaptations are pretty cool and interesting. Some are just cringier than others.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching a couple of the old ones. I'm like, I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that
Yeah.
it's more fun than scary. But I'm, when we were picking out books, I'm like, guys, I'm a chicken, so we gotta. We did Coraline last year, and man, I'm sorry, Coraline's freaking scary.
It is scary.
That scared me reading it. I literally was like jump scare reading the pages. I'm like, how did you do this to me? I would like close the book. I was like, nope, absolutely not on a couple of the scenes. I'm a chicken.
Oh,
It's
you
fun.
summoned her. You summoned her.
Did I?
Hey,
Yeah.
Laura.
Laura Nettles. Hi, Laura.
Yes, we were just talking about you and
Lovely.
Dracula for scripting the book that's coming up. So we've got an hour to talk about some of the things that have been going on while we were on summer break. So when we started the break, the writers went on strike. And since we've been back from break, the strike is over. Woo.
Big.
I wasn't sure how this one was going to go, but I feel like from because has anybody actually seen what is in the paper, what they're actually going to be signing? But I know what I've seen.
Seems like they
it
like
looks
it.
like they're happy.
I don't know.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it seems that they're pretty happy. The last thing I heard is that they're working on the language in the contract. So they can make sure that the language really covers everyone and that it is actually what was agreed upon. But that's the last thing I heard. I don't think the contracts are out so you can read what's in
Laura
it.
says signing
But it
goes
seems
down
like
on Monday.
Nice.
Good.
So
Well, that's great news. And then just actors and.
Yeah, we're waiting on the actors. So hopefully they get some things similar because I think they have a lot of the same concerns.
Yeah.
More so with the AI taking their faces.
Yeah, and the likeness. And I'm like, that's what
can you
makes
imagine?
the actor. Like,
can you imagine being able to, especially if you're an extra or just someone who's like not going to be there all the time or has these kind of like in the office scene that they can scan your face and pay you for one day, but they can use you in every episode if it's episodic. You know, I'm like,
and also
no
that
way,
really
and only get paid for one day. No way.
And you could kill careers with that because a lot of upcoming or people who are starting acting start that way, doing a lot of extras gig. And it's like if you're scanning their likeness, you're killing their career before they can even start one. Like that's
it's
so
just
infuriating.
Very icky. So they're gonna get better. They're gonna get a better deal when they're actually in the writers' room as well. So that's good. They're gonna get better pay. So they're getting like a 5% pay increases.
Yay.
So I think that's going to be the minimum. Again, we got to wait to see what the actual language is. And they're going to get better stuff in their pensions with their healthcare and their retirement. So
good.
So if everything is as it looks, that looks really good for them. And it's 150 some days, I think it was. So that's a long time. That's really, really hard on people. And I was worried, especially at first, because I was hearing things like people in the corporate and higher ups were saying eventually they're going to have to worry about getting evicted and stuff like that. So they're going to have to come back to work. And I'm like, these are the people that work for you. You should not think of them this way. That's pretty horrible. So I'm glad that it's working out and that cooler heads are actually taking a look at things and saying, okay, maybe these people are striking for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these people are like making the content that I benefit the most out. So maybe I should like, have a good relationship with them so they can keep making things so I can keep making money. I don't know why they don't think that was a win-win situation.
Yeah.
What are we
Oh,
missing?
yeah. When we get to talking about the Amazon
AI.
thing, I did link your video, Deidre, because I thought you did a great job
So
of
great.
explaining both parts. So let's see, what do we have next? Oh, anybody want to say anything else about the writer strike before we move on to the next topic? Because I think we are moving right on to the Amazon rule changes.
No,
Isn't
I'm
it?
glad to get it. Yeah, I think so. I'm glad to get them paid. Yay. Get that
Yes.
money.
Same, same. All right, let's move on. Amazon rule changes. So, if you're publishing and putting your books up on Amazon, they have had a couple of things that have happened over the last just couple of weeks. And a lot of people are really cool with it. Some people are wondering what's really going on. So, like, the first change is that if you upload something, they want to know if you're using AI assistance or AI more than assistance. Is this AI derivative work? And some people are like, oh, they're doing this because they're trying to crack down on people just there. I guess there's some AI farms out there or writing farms that are just spitting out book, and not checking them and just uploading them. So you're going to have quality control issues, which Amazon doesn't want. They don't like, people buying things and then
Yeah.
returning it and complaining. They want to
Right.
keep those ratings up. So it could be that. And then other people have theories that it's because they want to make their own AI stuff. So they're trying to see how prevalent it is. What are you guys' thoughts on the first change of how they want to suss out who
I
is
mean,
using AI?
Amazon wants their reader customer happy. So if people were baited into buying this AI not so good content and they complain to Amazon, that could probably be like, okay, we need to be better at keeping AI generated content to a minimum because our customers aren't happy. Like, they care less about authors, they care about the readers.
Mm-hmm.
And if they will, like, I mean, they already have an AI. Alexa is an AI. Like,
Yes.
Siri.
if they're gonna do something, they might just expand what Alexa can do, but they already have an AI.
Yeah.
I,
Go ahead,
oh,
Barrett.
no, I was.
I'll let you guys give your opinions, and then I have some thoughts that I
Well,
want
I have a question for actually you two, I think, because I think, I don't know about Charliee, but I'm not published yet on Amazon, but I think each of you have published on Amazon. So how does it impact? And then I think I saw Laura's comment, which may have answered it. It's an honor system? So it's just the ticking the box of like, I didn't do it at this point, but that doesn't mean that won't
At this
escalate
point.
later, or they'll have some sort of power later.
So I think the way they want to do that with the honor system is like, if someone comes with a complaint that this product, this book, has AI generated content, and you as the author check that it's not generated, it was like a assistant, Amazon then will have a way to send you like a warning that you have to revise your material, or they can just straight up terminate your account because you pretty much lied. But it's there to save Amazon's butt, not for the authors anything.
Yes.
Honestly, I I mean, I'm not gonna apologize. I know I will keep using Amazon as a publisher, but it does they don't give a f about authors, and it's just it is what it is at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I feel like it's more about they want customers to be satisfied, they want to make money, and they don't want to be liable for anything.
Yeah.
So, especially with the way that things are getting ready to go down in the next subject that we're going to talk about, but after we talk about the rule changes. But yeah, I just don't think that it's going to be about, you know, anything that's really good for us. I think that it will help authors who are not using a whole lot of AI, maybe just using the regular like Grammarly's and pro writing aids
Hmm.
and things like that. I think it'll help in that way so that we're not being like overcrowded from work that is AI generated. So it'll
Yeah.
it'll kind of like slow that down a little bit. And yeah, if you aren't honest about it, who knows what the next crackdown is going to be.
Right.
Um, and yeah, if you do get caught using AI more than just like the grammar checks and things like that, more than what's allowed. I'm sure I think they allow more than that. I think you can use like the rephrasing and things like that. You just can't have you. It has to be your own work, and you can use the AI edit types of things, but you can't get the prompts or you can't get the outlines, and you can't get it written from the AI. It can't come from the AI first or anything
Yeah.
like that. So it's a little bit, you can do a little bit more than just use, I don't know. You read the rules for yourself, but I think you
Yeah.
can do a little bit more than just like the pro writing aids and stuff like that. Or just
Yeah.
more than just the spell and grammar checks and stuff. But yeah, I think that you just better tell the truth about what you're doing because who knows what the next one's going to be. And it's constantly changing. It's the same thing I tell people
Hmm.
about YouTube. And YouTube says this too when we put up our videos and they say, you might not want to do this. This is what the rule, we just changed the rules. If they're changing the rules to this, who knows what the next level is. You don't want to have to go back through and change all your videos or go through all of your backlog of videos. So if you see things coming down the road, they're like, maybe just go ahead and move with precaution. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's the same thing on Amazon. If you see things coming down the road, maybe be thinking a couple steps ahead or a couple of years ahead. Um, any other thoughts on that first part of the rule change? Because then we'll get into the second one.
Not the first for me.
Yeah.
I
So
think I was.
this.
Sorry,
Go
continue.
ahead, Charlie. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna agree, and then yeah. Overall, I was gonna add a very wordy agreement, so we can continue.
We got the Charliee stamp.
Yes. Charlie's like, I approve. Next order of business. So the next thing on the Amazon change, which just rolled in, I think it just happened last week because I literally had barely heard about it, and then I saw Deidre's video. So I did link Deidre's video below in the description. And they talk. It's mostly about the number of times that you can upload. Again, it's going to be a little bit tricky for some writers who have a lot of things going on, but it also will help with the AI bot farm books
Yeah.
that who are just spitting out and just putting out maybe 10, 20, 30 books a day or updating chapters of their villas that many times a day. It's going to kind of like wrangle that, slow that down. They'll find a workaround. The ones who are in it for money and not because they're actually writing, they'll be the first ones to figure out all the workarounds
Yeah.
before actual, like, I don't want to say actual authors. I don't know that they're not authors, but a lot of you have probably seen the YouTube videos. They're like, make 100 books in a day. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you're not in it to write. You're just in it to
Yeah.
make money
Right.
and like clog up the system. But actual authors who the last thing we want to do is the admin stuff. We're the ones who are like, how do we make this work now?
Hmm.
So So now that you can only update 3 times a day, which for a lot of us, that seems like, whoa, that's a lot. Cause I'm like, I only have a couple things on Amazon and they're like workbooks and things like that. To like draw comics and for kids to work, to learn to write comic books and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I have on Amazon right now. So it's not going to affect me. I don't touch those. I don't change those. They're just there. They're literally there for my friends to use. They were the only ones that knew about it until, I started telling other people, yeah, I do have those. But I literally made them for my friends' kids. And I was like, here's an easy way. That way you're not coming to me every time. If you want one, boom, there they are. So those just sit there and I'm never going to worry about changing them. But as I start rolling out my books, especially the series, where this comes into play is most of us are going to put one book at a time, maybe even rapid release. You're only doing one at a time. What happens is every time you rapid release, you want to change the back matter of the books that you already have. Well, now you can upload the new book in one day. And usually when it's time to release, you want everything to be like smooth and cohesive in case someone's just finding your book, then they want to grab all your other books. So you want to change your back matter. If you're changing your covers, which a lot of people like to do every year or every couple of years, you can only do 3 at a time. So it's just going to take some planning, but if you can do 3 at a time, you can kind of like pace it out. Go ahead, Esther. Thoughts?
But apparently that is a glitch. It's supposed to be 3 new uploads each day. If you're just updating an old file, it's supposed not to count, but
But
like everything that Amazon's rolls new, it glitches for a few months until they somehow figure it out and fix it. So apparently that affecting changes to all files apparently is a glitch.
okay.
Apparently. I say
So
apparently
fingers
because
crossed.
maybe Amazon then decides that it's not going to be apparently.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Was it a glitch or are they just saying it's a glitch because they didn't think about it? And now they're like,
Yeah.
will we change it? Like, you know what? Don't want to poo-poo on Amazon. We'll say that it was an honest glitch and that eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, they'll fix it so that won't be a problem and everybody can,
Yeah.
only worry about, because I think that is the point, is to keep people from uploading 20, 30 books a day just to be making money.
Yeah.
If
I
that
don't
is
understand
supposed to be, that
why
makes
they
sense.
counting Vela for those uploads, because Vela is an entirely different thing.
Platform.
And they do make you feel like you had to upload more than once a week, and that you should have more than one story out at the same time to even be seen. So why would you add Vela to those restrictions or have it as a glitch when you yourself want Vela authors to mass produce for the app?
Yeah.
Well,
I think just Amazon rolls things and they're like, we're just gonna put it there and see what glitches, and then we will see if we like it that way or if we have to change it.
the thing I got from Deidre's video on this rule or this change or whatever was like the people that might be impacted most are more like the low content books.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like
definitely.
friends who do planners and stuff. Like I think Shannon does some planners on the side. I know Tiffany used to have a few. It's those people because they could upload like several, different versions, even of the same planner, just with different I don't know,
Covers.
themes. Yeah, covers and themes, I guess. So anyway, I think for that it's kind of crappy, but and Deidre, correct me if I like heard that wrong in your video, but that was my takeaway from that piece, that it, unless you're just like who else is writing that many books, like machine people, Laura. No,
Yeah.
other than Laura, is anybody else doing that? So
I
but
suppose in theory, if you're doing really, really short reads,
yeah,
you could probably be doing
probably could.
the same thing.
I
But
just
yeah,
never trust the Zon, It's
Yeah.
like I just never am gonna fully trust the Zon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that with short reads, it wouldn't be ideal to have similar titles releasing the same day. You will want to like at least be like one day, one the other to kind of like stack them. But we don't know. We don't know everyone's strategy out there.
These people have a lot of free time on their hands.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
also, yeah, I guess the main thing to highlight also is just that, at least from what I've read, that Amazon 100% has basically said that this is just a stepping stone, and that they'll make changes to decide whether or not they, haha, that's funny, they want to lower the amount of times you can publish a day, or like change what they do. But yes, and then as for the honoraria system that we were talking about the last update, I think if you don't like show that you have written like an AI assisted book or whatnot, they actually take down your book. So what I'm curious most to know is how are they going to decide what is AI assisted and what is AI written by AI, and how much warning
Yeah.
they get before they take down your book.
Yeah, because I think that they ran like Jane Austen's novel through one of the AI, and it said it was like 70% like copywritten. So the AI generator, I think that might have been an over exaggeration, but I think the point that they were trying to make is that the AI detectors aren't that great. And with certain types of books that you write, there are phrases that are like, I don't want to say cliche, but they're very common to be used. So they're like, every time you use one of these like common phrases, is that ticking you up on the AI detector, or versus this is just something that is commonly said, in
Exactly,
whether
yeah.
it's in a romance, or if it's a vampire lore, there are certain phrases that might be very common, so the AI might pick them up a little bit more than they would something that's completely original idea.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Yeah, you got it, Barrett. She's like, you're
Yay!
on to it.
I win.
Space between release and market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll just be for those who do a lot of books. I don't know if that's happening with everybody. It's just things that people will talk about when you get onto the forums and stuff, and how often it's happening where people are like, I'm not able to update my books or change my books or anything like that, or especially if you want to take down your book and re-upload your book, then how much of a problem these things are. But just plan accordingly. If you've got things coming out, know that if you've got something coming out that's maybe part of a series, know that the glitches might not be worked out. So maybe plan how you're gonna get these things done until it's all worked out, and stay on the forums, because I've had a couple of friends who have been trying to do the whole Amazon has messed up my upload, whether it's with categories or trying to change or fix things, and there's not a person you can talk to. So you've got to you're clicking on is this your problem click? Is this your problem click? And then you're like, okay, so nothing's being solved. And then you escalate to where you can get an email, but there's not a person you can talk to explain your problem. So just plan accordingly and be patient, and good luck to everybody.
Yeah.
on this journey. I know I've got some friends in the Authortube world who are just like, just go wide, and don't worry about Amazon. But Amazon has made things easy for a lot of indie authors, and so when it's working, it's good for a lot of people. So don't want to totally knock it, especially when I'm going to be using it.
Me too. I know, right?
Yeah.
But be aware.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Also, Deidre, that's a good idea, and I think I've seen some back-end matter like that, which is a master link. So you click the master link and you'll see all the books, and then you find the book that you want to go next.
Yeah,
And
so
that
that
way,
way,
some readers might find a new series they might want to jump into. So that's a good idea, and I have seen it.
yep, that is actually a really good idea. So, food for thought. Look at Deidre out here just dropping nuggets for everybody. Good planning. Yes. All right. So, on to more. I always said I don't want to make this like a whole AI episode, but AI is just like it is really the thing. It has been for the past year, and it's not going away.
No.
If anything, the issues are getting more and more plentiful. So we've got, and again, I have some links. I didn't want to put a whole bunch of links, but basically some news reports kind of explaining them very quickly what's going on. But yeah, we've got some writers who are suing OpenAI for taking their work without their permission. And it's kind of like what the artists were saying, and everybody was poo-pooing on the artists because everybody's having so much fun making stuff with the artist's work. And the artists are like, hey, remember us? And it's a hard thing because I think some of us have had friends who have been trying to get book covers done or character art, and you're relying on a person and you're paying a person and then not getting quite what you want, which is why I'm like, as an artist, I'm not doing commissions right now, but if someone says I'm looking for this and I'm like, I am not the artist for you. My art looks like this. I do more cartoon caricature type stuff, not realistic looking stuff. I'm not the artist for you. I'm not going to be able to deliver what they want. And I don't want them paying me and not being able to give them exactly what they want. And then there's the back and forth and the disappointment, and it's money. And sometimes it's friendships and, reviews. If you're not friends, you still got reviews, and it's other clients, and, you're going to have that review saying, I asked for this and they gave me what I didn't want, and I still had to pay them because they delivered. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. So I get that working with a human can be finicky, especially when you still have to pay them because they produced the product. And AI, you're like, but it's free. So you don't care if they've got 10 fingers on one hand, You're like, I'll put something in front of that hand, I'll put the letter A
I
in
put
front of that
part of
hand.
the
So nobody
title
will see the
there,
10 fingers.
so they'll see part of the fingers.
They've got like one elf ear and one human ear. I'll just like make sure that the lettering swirls over the wrong ear. And it's just like, I got it for free, and the artists are like, but they used our stuff. So the artists have been saying this, and now the writers are like, well, wait, hey, they did what? I think one of the writers in one of the articles that I linked below was like his son typed it in. It's like it said, "Hey, look at your work. I just typed this into OpenAI, and there's your work right there." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I follow a traditional author who find out recently, they put it on Instagram, 5 of their titles were used to train AI. 5.
Wow. Yikes.
And I was like, that's half of your book list. And that's like, what? And there are a lot of authors are mad, really mad about it.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like people were giving artists a hard time when artists were, because they're like, but it's not your work. It's not exactly your thing. And they're like, but they used my thing to make the thing. And it's not like a human. Like a human will look at something, because that's what we do. We're like, oh, I need to draw a cowboy hat. This is what a cowboy hat looks like. So I see it and then I reproduce it. We're human beings. That's the way our brains work. So I think they're kind of trying to say like the AI is doing the same thing. It's like, no, that's a machine.
No,
It
because it
copied
doesn't put their
and then regurgitated it.
flavor.
Yeah.
Like we 4 can write the same prompt and it's going to come
Totally
out
different.
differently because all four of us come with a different background and we see the world slightly different, and that shows up in our writing. What's gonna the AI put that is them, that they can do the robot or something like that? Or what they're bringing that is new? Nothing. They are just a bunch of zeros and ones. That's it.
Mm-hmm. People's like, just do it yourself. AI isn't the cash cow people think it is. Everyone can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just some people, not everyone, lack the discipline that takes to sit down and take a bunch of words and made it cohesive and entertaining and emotional. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing with drawing and painting. Some people lack the discipline to sit down with a pencil and paper, with a brush and some paint and just whatever paper you have, and go at it and practice until you make something that evokes an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just lack of discipline and wanting to prioritize time for that. It's like, you don't have to have it all. If you want to, then put the work to have it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it's also about like because AI is not going to go away. So it's also about like how you use AI. And I know that in my classes recently, our main topic, because I'm in the liberal arts, right? Our main topic is since our students are going to be using AI, and classrooms will be using AI and all of that. It's about teaching like younger people how to use AI when it's appropriate to use AI and when it's not. But then for people who don't have that education, it's hard because I mean, we're all busy, we all have lives, and it seems like life is only getting busier every year, so
Mm-hmm.
and harder. So it's tempting.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Others using AI to compete with you. Just remember there are already writers out there not even rereading their own books before
Right.
hitting the publish button.
Right. That
That's
This
part.
is true.
That
This is
part.
true. They are not your competition. They are not, but they are just clogging up the space, you know.
They're not competition, but
Unfortunately.
they are a obstacle hard to get over, which
Mm-hmm.
is a different problem. They're still a problem, but just different.
Yeah.
And I had to take a sip right at that
Yeah. Right
moment.
then.
Yeah, I don't either. I know some people are like, artists are just going to have to use it or get over it. You don't have to use it. If you
Yeah.
don't want to use it,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Don't use it.
Same thing with writers. If you've got a good thing going, I mean, a lot of writers have been writing since the dawn of time before AI ever came along. They don't have to use
Also,
AI
you
if they don't
you
want to.
can use it in a more ethical way. You just have
Yeah.
to find that. Like,
Yeah.
if you're someone who likes to spitball ideas, but you're not comfortable spitballing ideas with humans, AI is an option to spitball
Sure.
something and it will spit you back 10 to 15 things.
Yeah.
Mhm. Sometimes none of them work, but they might spark something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
And I feel like the only thing with that is that you need to use an AI source that's not going to go. Like, if you're nervous about spitballing with other human beings because you're like, what if they take my idea and do it better? Well, most of the AIs are not private. Well, they're private, like
yeah.
nobody, but they reuse it. So once you put something in, they can use it. So someone else can like, I need an idea for a Ferris wheel, and you just like you just put in your prompt for a Ferris wheel story, and they're like, oh well, now we have this, and then they spit your idea. So you go back later, like 2 months later, you're like, this short story really sounds a lot like my thing. Well, you gave it to the AI. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's not exactly maybe how you want to do it, but you're like, a couple of these things are like right on the nose for exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
So-
very specific with AI. The vaguer you are, probably the more you're gonna get from the AI. If you get too specific, one, you're gonna feed the AI, and then you're not gonna get that many things because you're way too specific for AI.
For now,
Mhm.
that's good though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just spitball your stupid ideas, like really the ones that you couldn't care less, and
Yeah.
see if that sparks something better. You're
Yeah.
like,
It's like, oh, the
okay,
AI
I get
actually
it.
came up with something.
Or maybe it came up with 3 dumb ideas, and those 3 inspire a better idea.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
My,
AI not knowing the difference between a
Michael,
bicycle and a tricycle.
we're hearing you say you want to be a guest host. Just reach out.
Yes.
Just reach out.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're more than happy to have you. I've had no desire to use AI in my writing. I haven't either. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't remember who I was chatting with, but I was like, unfortunately, I'm sure there are things on like scheduling end that AI might be able to help me with, but I just haven't figured out how to make that work. But right now, what AI does that I see most people using it for are the things I enjoy doing. So I have no use for it. I like coming up with ideas. I like even if I have like Barrett does the prompts on Friday night, even if I have a prompt, I like in my own head coming up with 4 or 5 or 6 ideas on my own. I don't need any more from the AI. My brain's already gonna, as soon as I see a prompt, my brain is already thinking of 4, 5, or 6 ideas. And I'm trying to like slow down and just write down my favorite ones of the ideas that I'm already thinking about. So idea generation, outlining. I love outlining. I've told my friends, like, I love outlining more than I enjoy actually writing the thing, outlining and world building. So these are what I see most people using AI for. I'm like, that's what I like the best. So I don't need that. And I'm not going to give the AI my outline to write it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
haven't,
You're
I just
like,
haven't
I'm
found a
my
use for it
own
yet.
AI. My brain is my AI. I don't need anything
I wish my
else.
brain worked as fast as the AI. That would be
Yeah.
great, but my brain does not work. I can't get it all written down in 2 seconds. So unfortunately, so I just haven't found a real use. And then
I
even with
mean,
the
spell
art one,
checking, like Laura says, that's what I use it
Or
for.
maybe
yeah,
grammar.
and I
Spell
just
checking.
use Pro Writing Aid. I have Pro Writing Aid on one, Grammarly on my other computer. I use those, and then I
Yeah.
cross-check them because they will sometimes out-correct themselves. I'm like, okay, when I was on the computer
Yeah.
in my room, Pro Writing Aid said not to use this, and then I come on my computer in my office, and
See,
Grammarly says
I
no.
stopped combinating because Grammarly seems to function only on one verb tense. It always corrects you to one specific verb tense, and then Pro Writing Aid is kind of like, well, are you using this verb tense or this one? And I'm like, I want you to tell me
You tell
which
me.
one I'm using. You tell me,
Esther's
not
like,
me.
you tell me. I don't
If
know.
I knew, I wouldn't have this trouble.
Esther's like, what am I paying you for?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I think the most interesting thing for me for AI would be the speech to the text to speech function so that I can just have my own audiobook. But then I also
I
have
love
trust
that.
issues with AI. So I don't want to copy and paste my book into AI so that I can hear it played back to me.
Do you know how many times because I like to listen to my stuff back, and I also like to I've been practicing with dictating my work. I'm like, is this private? If I put this in, is it still private? Like, I literally keep looking that up because I'm
Yeah, it's just because they
I would
won't
just
really tell you until
The answer,
yeah.
no, or it is private.
the ones I use, there's one I wanted to use. It sounded really, really cool. And it said that it's not really private. Like, it's private as in if they won't show it to other people, but the AI gets to use it.
They
And I'm just
save
like,
it. Yeah.
I'm not there yet. Me and AI, we're not there yet.
Mm-mm.
I'm still okay with Word reading back to me the mess that I wrote. And
Yeah.
then, surprisingly enough, Scrivener can understand my accent better than Google Docs and Word. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's
good. Because I
good.
mostly use Scrivener to write. So,
Yeah, and I'm mostly using Google Docs, but I'm curious. I'm like, if Scrivener can do it better. But yeah, they all make me a little bit like, where's my stuff? I'm like that now because I wasn't before because they took everybody's stuff without saying
even
anything. So I'm
same.
like,
Yeah.
I don't trust you now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how cool it would have been if back in whenever they started doing this, 2010, 2012 or whatever, they said, hey,
Hmm.
would you like to, anyone who creates art or writes or does these things, if you'd like to sign up and join us and be a part of this thing that we're doing,
And
how,
donate, right?
yeah,
Like donate a
and
portion or something.
yeah, and then people could voluntarily hand these things over knowing exactly what they're doing. I feel like we'd be in a completely different space right now with AI. But
Are we talking about
that thought,
consent?
we are talking about consent. Yeah. Could you
Yeah.
imagine? I mean, because even when I first saw the AI art stuff, I was like,
Mhm.
ooh, I want to take my art and play with AI with it
Oh,
just to see and then immediately people were like, oh, they just took, and I was like, oh, never mind. And I just I haven't even looked at it since. But initially thinking that they've done this great thing, I wanted to see what it was all about. I was like, this sounds really cool. Look at this cool. And then it just went womp womp, just like that. I was like, I can't trust you now. We have trust issues. So yeah. You'll need to learn to use a typewriter. Yeah. I don't know anybody who's truly like 100% anti-AI. I think they're anti certain things, especially the way that they have taken people's work without telling them, and the way that people are able to like literally type in, if I want to write a book like George R. Martin, you just have to type it in and it will regurgitate something
Mhm.
that has a lot of his work in it. You know what I mean? So I think that's where people may sound or seem anti. Like I said, if
Yeah.
yeah, I really wish that they had gone about it a different way, but capitalism is what it is, and people like to. I don't know if they really wanted to be super secret about it, and maybe that's why. Like they didn't want someone who maybe was smarter or had better tech to like jump on the bandwagon and do it before them. I don't know the reason for why they did it the way that they did it, but here we are, and people are not happy at seeing art that looks exactly like their thing or writing that looks exactly like their thing. And it's, not a person, looking at the thing and then doing the thing. It's actually a machine being fed it and then spitting it back out. So
Mhm.
it's weird. It's weird. I wish they hadn't done it that way because it just would have made everything so much smoother. The transparency, the whole thing just would have been a whole different situation. But that's all hindsight,
too late now. Can't put
Yeah,
tooth back in the tube.
sure can't. And with the way that our society has been so slow on just the internet itself,
I
we still
know.
don't have guardrails.
Any regulations, I know.
Yeah, I'm like, they're so far behind on just regulations for the internet and use and all that stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're still trying to understand Facebook, and I'm like, uh,
Yeah.
what? You're trying to understand Facebook? Like, oh, jeez.
Yep. Oh yeah. I hope that the writers are
Didn't
thinking
think
about
of
this too. I feel like I've heard something about the video games as well. Uh, I'll
and
have to
probably
look into
coding in general, right?
that. Mm-hmm.
All systems coding, that would be vulnerable as well.
Yep. And I wish that there was a way that AI could honestly do some of the non-fun things that people really don't want to do, or the life-saving things like life-saving research, like help researchers find cures for things. That would be amazing. But
Yeah.
I feel like AI is literally taking the fun jobs, and that's
Yeah.
why are you taking
I really don't
the
understand
things that we
why
enjoy?
AI hasn't takeover of the IRS. Because, I don't think I have ever met an accountant who likes to do taxes. And I know way too many accountants, and none of them like to make taxes. They're like, the system is stupid. There's too many loopholes. It's just everyone is different. There's people who think they can get can get into some loopholes, and it's just a pain to explain something that you half don't understand, and you're the accountant. I'm like, sounds like you're in pain. They're like, yeah, it's hell. Tax season is hell. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's something
Yeah.
AI should take. Because they're not happy. They probably will rather do other types of accounting that
Yeah.
could be much more fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, I think AI will take, no matter what jobs they do, they take jobs from other people, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Same, Eva, same. Yep. Same. Paranoid brains. All right. What else do we have? Oh my gosh, hour goes by so
I
fast.
mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
goes by fast when you're having fun. I was
Yep.
gonna say at some point
Yes.
someone needs to write like an epic AI fantasy where we see each job and like a small community go to AI. Because it started first. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal a couple weeks ago about AI, and it talked about how it started in auto manufacturing and manufacturing plants back in like the 80s and
Mhm.
early 90s
Yeah.
with automating those jobs. And if someone writes some great, epic story, I think it would be a big hit. Just talking about how nobody's safe. Figure out a way to tell that story and make it like a slow burn psychological horror. I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
I was
Yeah.
thinking Survivor. That's very different.
I would like to see that.
Survivor surviving AI.
Yes. I feel like
See,
if
we
you're a
don't need
sci-fi writer,
AI.
yeah.
We
Exactly.
immediately
We can
start
come up with
thinking.
ideas.
I don't know if I was ahead of my time or not, but my sci-fi that I wrote the comic, like literally AI got so bad that it got banned. Before
really?
I wrote this in like 2016.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Talking about the future.
We have
So
seen the future.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. It's honestly it's not a unique idea. Even in Star
Yeah.
Trek, they had data and they had to determine in the next generation whether data had humanity, whether he could be considered a human, a person. Because he could think, but could he really think? So it's not a unique concept. I think a lot of people in sci-fi have been like, we love the idea of it. So we've kind of been playing with the idea for a long time. I think in a lot of sci-fi, you'll see some type of AI machinery, matrix, type things that just kind of like take over and just really do bad things to actual human beings. So this is a concept that we like to play with. So but just that in mine, I was like, no, AI and artificial intelligence things got so bad that they banned it.
Wow.
So there's like literally like an underground, which I don't think that's unique too, because I feel like I've seen other things that have the undertones of that as well. I think I forget what the one it is. It's really popular that I was watching it on Amazon. But like people with body parts that get like their body parts that are machines.
Carbon?
It might be altered carbon, but yeah. So things like this, it's not completely unique. It's ideas in the sci-fi realm
Yeah.
that we've been playing with for a long time. So I feel like for a lot of us, we're like, we are here now. This is the thing.
It's like, take me out of this book.
We are in our novels now. It is happening. Um, so I am really interested in seeing where it goes. But the fact that our government and
We
wasn't
just
ready
need
for it, and that
regulations.
the people who developed it were not transparent about it at all, and just like took stuff. It's like, so this is how it starts. We could
That's
speculate,
a
but
good
here it
idea, Charlie.
is.
Oh yeah.
Use AI to predict what will happen before it does, so you can write a story on it and live forever until
I
AI
would-
decides to like copyright. So AI will denounce itself for copyright. Interesting.
you know, when AI becomes a robot.
Yeah.
Or if AI like figures out the mathematical like probabilities of a lottery, for example, and someone figures out how to manipulate that, and they
Oh,
start
yeah.
lottery after lottery after
That's actually when the government's gonna be like putting the foot
That,
down
yeah.
and be like, we
All of
need
a
to
sudden.
regulate it.
right,
All of a sudden, we
'Cause-
can't have
or
poor
the
people.
stock
Yeah.
or the stock market, right? Like anything like that, where they can
Yeah.
figure out how to manipulate financials. Yeah, wait for
If
it.
it helps
I
poor people.
wonder
Guardrails.
If it helps poor people. If
That's
it
true.
helps them
Right.
and they're rich business owners,
Right.
they will probably not tell us.
Technically, you can, because AI can compile stock information. You might just have to know how to read all that information and
To make the
see where it
predictions.
goes. Yeah, to make the predictions. Because AI right now probably is just gonna be it's just compiling information and giving it to you in a bite size and more digestible way. But I don't know, unless it's out there and we don't know it. I don't know if it can
They could be
actually
using it right
run
now.
calculations to predict
They could be
tendencies.
using it right now and not telling the rest of us. I wouldn't
Yeah,
be surprised.
someone
I
could be
wouldn't be-
writing that type of AI,
Yep,
and we just don't know it yet.
they sure could. Mm-hmm. Vast many possibilities. Give the working class the false belief that they can instantly. Oh yeah, this about the lottery. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they're already doing it, and that's why they're really, really slow at regulating some of these things, because do they really want to? Let it, if it backfires and helps the poor people, that's when you will see crackdowns for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agree. I know that they've been using it to cheat in gambling and at the casinos and stuff like that. They get caught though.
Oh wow.
So, oh my goodness. All right. Enough AI talk. Unless anybody has anything else to say about AI,
Rabbit hole.
are we done? I know it'll be back. There will be more on AI.
Yeah.
There will be the next thing, and we'll be like, what is next? What is happening?
Absolutely.
That's so funny, Michael. AI, I found a loophole in the Cosmo.
yes.
Me, yeah, but what's the weather tomorrow?
Oh, Michael.
We
Is
just
it
need
gonna
a
be
simple
hot
thing.
and humid tomorrow? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Oh,
my God.
BookTok, so messy.
Oh, it's so messy. Okay. Do you guys want me to give you a quick rundown of what was going on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So here's
Take the
the quick
stage.
rundown. Quick rundown of what had been happening. So apparently the romance landia of BookTok can be a little bit messy. So there was a book talker and several other. There's just one. She's got like over 1 million followers. So just immediately she gets the attention. But so hockey romance, it's a very popular thing, along with cowboy romance and some of the others. But what happened was that one of the teams had one in particular, very good looking guy, and people went from imagining the book person to imagining this particular person and then the team. And so TikToks were being made about them and really sexualizing them in a way that I was like, this is way over the top. I do not follow this particular book talker that really brought everything to the forefront because she's a little bit over the top for my taste. I like a little bit, more subtle book talk and bookstagram and booktubes type of stuff. But
It was
people,
raunchy.
yeah,
I was
raunchy.
like,
Thank you,
okay.
raunchy. And so I had heard about her, seen a couple of her things, but not about the hockey. Just not the book talker for me. So was not following. But I know a lot of people like that. It's just out there and big and loud and fun and funny. And people like that. So she's very popular, 1 million followers plus. So the Seattle Kraken, a newer team. Guys were good looking, and the hockey romance landia of BookTok just were a drooling, and it became a thing. Everybody was in on it. The hockey team's social media started making these posts and started interacting with the book talkers, especially this particular one who was very popular. And the talks were raunchy. I was like, holy, you put this on the internet? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And people were like, the wives were in on it. The wives were making TikToks about it, and so it was a whole thing until it wasn't funny anymore. And one of the guys really was feeling targeted in it in a way that he was not comfortable anymore. So according to the book talker, just one day she was suddenly unfollowed by the social media team after they had flown her out. I mean, the social media team flew her out, gave her jerseys. It was a whole thing. And everybody if you didn't know, you would think that they were all just kind of like in on it and everybody was cool with it until they weren't cool with it anymore. But what happened was that the social media for the Kraken, they just took it down, unfollowed her, erased all of the TikToks and things, anything that they had that even related to it, gone, just gone one day. So she's like, that's weird. I just got unfollowed by like the biggest team that was like, all up on my TikTok. And then the wife put out a statement. And it kind of called her out and another person, but mostly her. I think mostly her just because she had 1 million followers. So she's like the biggest face to it. So, and it just, from there, everything kind of fell apart. She was like, well, why didn't anybody tell me? I would have just taken them down. Not that big of a deal. People were like, oh, you're messy. We're going to unfollow you. And then her fans thought that by the wife putting her post up, that they had attacked her. So then people went and started attacking the wife. No.
Messy.
All messy and all wrong. All wrong. This was all handled completely wrong. And it's hard you can't say that if the wife and the guy in question, if they're uncomfortable, period, point blank, it needs to stop. And however they want to handle it, they're the ones who felt like they were the targets of it. They have every right to feel how they feel.
Right.
It, in my opinion, was up to the social media of the team to contact the TikToker and be like, we have to stop this. They're not comfortable. She's going to make a statement. So we're taking our stuff down. You should take your stuff down. Yeah. It's over. That's how, in a perfect world, it would have been, honestly, in a perfect world, it was way too much in the first place. I don't know how they got away with doing this. It was a lot. The fact that the social media representation for the team was doing it, I'm just like,
they were making the team social media. TikTok was making thirst traps of their teammates.
Yeah.
And it was like and it's not like they are participating. It's just that they just are walking to their changing
The
rooms or
stretches.
walking to a
Yep.
conference sprint, and the social media manager was like making a video and then turning it into a thirst trap video on TikTok, which it's like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
Wild.
where
Yeah.
in the social media
Wild.
experience education that I hope you have
That part.
makes this okay? This is harassment.
So
It's
unprofessional.
just plain and simple.
So
No.
unprofessional.
Yeah.
Book Talker is going to do what Book Talker is
Because they're
going to
just
do.
like
Oh,
walking on a
messy.
suit going to a conference.
Yeah.
A press conference. They're not walking towards you making eyes or biting their lips or opening it or closing the jacket button. They're just literally, you just see it and it's just them walking.
Yep.
And then just a lot of filters and very raunchy music. And I'm like,
Sick.
oh, this is not okay.
Messy.
It's not okay.
Let's
It was
circle
not
back to
okay.
a previous topic: consent.
Consent.
It
That
all
would be nice.
comes back to consent.
Yeah.
Wait, so okay, to clarify though,
Mhm.
the consent was taken away, but was it ever given in the first place?
It wasn't necessarily given. It just kind of
The
happened.
content
So
doesn't look like the players, the hockey players, were participants
right.
of the video. It
It
was like
looked
they were doing other things while the social media manager was taking the video.
and then the Book Talk community was taking these videos and just running wild with it.
Going
So it stopped being
crazy.
about fictional characters in a book, and
Right.
the things that they were reading from the fictional characters started being transposed onto actual real
Yes.
people.
Like for
Um,
example, one of the videos from this big book talker that really got a lot of flag is they are warming. They're in the ice warming, just doing their warm-ups, minding their own business. And she's like very thirstily, like zooming in on their butt and crotch area. And it's like, one, you are out in the public. Second, that's sexual harassment. Third, let them mind their own business. They're just warming up so they don't get hurt when they play. It's like, if you're just like being here, I don't know, in your head, in the gutter, and wetting your panties, that's your problem, not theirs. And also, social media doesn't need to know that.
right.
It's like,
And
get it together.
this was part of it where I think the book talkers thought that there was some level of consent. It's because not only was the team's social media doing it, but the wives, before I think it got really kind of crazy, the wives were also like, I think everybody thought it was cute and funny. I don't think anybody realized, because if you're not, the ones who should have known were the people who get paid to do this social media team should have said, we see this happening. We need to start putting up some boundaries and making sure everybody's okay. So the wife did, people start getting popular. People start being like, your husband's so hot. Of course you're going to be like, yes, he is. So the wife was also making some comments, and there was the crack your back saying because the team's the crack. And so all of these things, and some of the wives seemed to be playing in on it. A lot of the fans were kind of like playing in on it. But at some point it went too far, to the point where if the guys were just kind of like on the side being like, it's not so bad, at some point they said, no, this is really uncomfortable. We don't like it anymore. Yeah. And at that point, it just needs to stop, period. But before that, I really feel like the social media team and the team's manager, who should be seeing this happen, should have come together and said, hey, we need to find out if the guys actually want to do this. Because, you know, back in the day, it would be like the firefighters on the calendars and, you know, being featured in the magazines and stuff like that. But all these guys were asked to do it. And then they'd have their picture taken. And then they'd be on the calendar. And, you know, if you were a wife, you know that the women have your husband is Mr. August, you know what it is because you signed up for it. Everybody was in on it. It's going to last a year, unless they keep it forever. But you know what I mean? There, you kind of know what to expect. I don't think anybody understood what this could blow up into.
Yeah.
But also, if they initially had consent from the teammate, the consent can be revoked at any time, and that's perfectly okay. And you don't have to twist your panties and cry a river if that happens. It's just like consent was revoked, so we remove the content and let it be, because again, if they're not comfortable, this is not okay.
Yeah. But it's the part where you said let it be, because that's exactly what the social media coordinator did. Removed all the content, but didn't communicate it with the
other person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I think that led into where things got really messy. I feel like had the social media because probably they went to HR or management or something and said, we don't like this, because the social media team for the Kraken took everything down. So they knew that there was a problem. Nobody communicated this to the BookTok or anyone on BookTok until the wife came out with the statement. And then that's when accusations start flying. It's like, oh, so you let these people take everything out and clear everything down. They're not going to get any heat. You're only directing the heat at these people over here. So then the fans, particularly the fans of, I think her name is Kira, started attacking the wife, which you should never do that. You know, she's not a professional social media person. She's just trying to get the word out there that we're not comfortable with this anymore. So we would like to disengage. She has every right to do that. But because it looked like she was attacking her and no heat on the other part of the party that was involved, because it looked like they were just able to nice and neatly take everything down and everything's fine. We honestly don't know if there were any repercussions. We don't know if anyone was fired. We don't know that. They just took everything down and were hush hush. And the wife directed everything to BookTok. So the BookTok fans then in turn attacked the wife, and then the fans of the wife and the player started attacking them. And then you have this whole big mess. And it didn't even have to happen. And she was making TikToks about that too, in her fashion. And people were like, well, why is she being like, I'm like, this, because that's how she is. Have you seen her TikToks? This is how she is. So of course, when it goes down, this is how she's going to be. And it's for TikTokers and BookTokers. It's all about, you know, good or bad, you're bringing in those views. So she's the bigger and louder she is about it, the more she's going to get the views. That's what they do. That's what they do. But it's the back and forth between the fans on both sides that just absolutely, and some of the things that were said about her race and about the wife's marriage, all of that was absolutely, none of that was necessary. Should have just never happened. And I feel like had the social media team done their job, it wouldn't have happened.
Yep, you're right.
True. And if they had just come out with a statement and be like, hey, so and so, or as a team, we're not okay how far this has gone, so we're gonna remove all of our own content. We kindly ask everyone who has made similar content to remove it, so we stop making the families of these hockey players uncomfortable. As easy as that.
Yeah.
And just let the community entirely know consent has been removed. Get out
Go back
of
to fictional
here.
characters. They're strapped over the fictional characters.
Fan cast another person.
Yeah. Or not another person, please. Just
they will move
or at least
to
don't
another
tell
person.
them. Don't go after them. Don't tell them that they have.
You need to
if you fan cast someone, just don't tell anyone. Just keep it to yourself.
On their social media and let them know. Don't send other people to their social media. And who gained the most followers over this? I don't know that because the Kraken is popular on its own. and Kira is popular on her own. I think that there was this thing that she was like, her fans were like, y'all just want people to unfollow her, but she has 1.1 million followers. I don't think her numbers budged. So if she got unfollows, it wasn't anything that I could see, because it's in the one, once you get the 1.1 or 1.2 million, if it's only in the hundreds that unfollow, you don't notice it. So she wasn't hurt by it. I don't think that the Kraken team, if they had fans, there may be some people who are only book talkers and only like the hockey romance. Maybe they're like, oh, okay, they don't like us anymore. But they're not really their hardcore fans. Both sides, as far as that goes, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine because they're both big enough that after the fallout, I think that everybody's fine. Like I said, I didn't notice a budge in her numbers.
It took me way too long to realize that the Krakens were the teams. Was the team until you mentioned it, because I do not watch hockey.
But I don't either. I'm like, that's such a strange name to use for a hockey team. But
yeah.
Oh, that's yikes.
Yeah.
But something
funny
that's
thing
interesting
about like thinking more like a bigger jump in sales happened. I'm not entirely sure because hockey romance is really popular.
Yeah.
Like hockey romance has ridiculously avid readers.
Yeah, and I think Icebreaker was the book that was coming out at the time. I think it still did well and is doing well.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I think that it's kind of like Barbenheimer, where they were just kind of like feeding off of each other. Oppenheimer was going to do its numbers, maybe not be as popular as Barbie, but Oppenheimer was going to be fine. Barbie was going to blow up no matter what. The fact that they fed into each other, it kind of just made it a big thing altogether. And now they go their separate ways. I think they're still going to be fine as their separate entities. Hockey romance is still going to be wildly popular in the romance land. And the Krakens are going to do however well the Krakens do, and their fans are going to love them. So,
I'm starting to wonder, is I don't know which social media platform is busier or more dramatic, the BookTok or just TikTok in general, or Twitter, because everything seems to go everywhere now.
Yeah, well, I can't tell you this drama
because it a lot of people who may not be in the book community finds about this and then comments on it.
Yes.
Twitter is hard for people outside of the book community to get into the conversation. It has to be something blown up so out of the water that people are like, what the heck is this? Why this thread is so long? That's usually the commentary, and I'm like, I know you're not from the book community if you're complaining how long the thread is.
That's why you're our Twitter whisperer.
Yeah. And it's always going to be Twitter. I'm going to always say Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not calling it anything else. What else would we call it?
I don't know. Fleet? I don't know what... Are fleets a type of... Is it like a fleet of boards? Is that why it was called fleets that one time? No?
The Canadian team?
Oh, no. Sorry. I'm not answering the question. I'm answering the whole... Twitter will always be Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Instead of its new name.
Wait, what's its new name?
X.
That's gross.
Wow, you've really been gone a while, Charlie. If you're like, wait, what? I'm like,
yeah, it's called really X, and now you repost.
Oh my god!
And it's just like it's just the most infuriating thing. I'm like, I'm going to Twitter.
Tweeting, that was a whole thing. How do you throw that away?
I don't know.
Nobody's Xing.
Because now I guess they're just taking that red flag and making it their personality.
Yeah, it's like X, you instead of comment, what was it? You reply, and instead
So
of
boring.
retweeting, you repost. They kept the
Womp
quote,
womp.
but you don't. That's and instead of
Um,
it always used to be a like. Was there some time that used to be a heart? It's
It
still
used to
the
be a
heart
heart.
shape, but do you like it?
Oh,
Yes, everything
It's
is.
just it's
Same Des. Same
it's
Des.
giving Facebook. MySpace, is that what it was called?
yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah.
It
No.
wishes. It wishes. Y'all don't know. MySpace was so freaking cool, y'all.
I loved it, and it was
I
great.
do.
Y'all. You used to like rank
And
your
you could
friends.
keep your
Have
friends
your,
in line.
oh yeah,
Cause
you'd be like,
that
Man,
top 8,
oh yeah,
your
top
friends will
8.
do anything to
yep.
Yes.
be in that top
Yes.
8.
You weren't in that
Yes.
top 8. You were like, what I do? Why is she
Yep.
mad
How
at
did
me?
I
Yeah.
drop out? What the heck
Oh
happened?
my gosh,
Yeah.
that would give me so much anxiety.
Oh, it's
And
so
that's
great. And
that's
like,
the time where a lot of people learn how to code in
agree.
HTML, because if you wanted to have a snazzy MySpace, you have to learn how to code it in.
Yes. I used
Well,
to
And
know
you
how to
could
do
have
that. I don't anymore.
music.
you'd go
I
to
could
the
make my
page,
stuff
and
glitter
music would
with
just
music,
explode.
change the
Like,
colors.
yeah, you'd pull up to
It
someone's
was
page, their
fantastic.
music would explode, be really loud, and it was
Oh
like,
wow.
what? But like, yeah, it was great. It was just the best.
Your page was your vibe. Like,
Oh yeah,
Literally every person who has MySpace and they have a lot of tabs and they start listening to music, you're like immediately looking at all the tabs and be like, wait, where is the pause? Where do I see a pause in my tab?
right.
Where? Which tab is singing?
y'all don't know how mad I was when everything started switching over to Facebook. I was like, it's so boring. Why are we doing
I
this? I didn't
lost
understand
my
it.
login to MySpace,
So
Oh,
so
it
did
was
I
I.
was
I
like,
don't even have that email
no.
anymore.
yeah,
I'm like,
that's
man,
Oh,
I think I do
sadness.
still have that. No, I don't have the email for that one.
Oh
I lost
man, I
that.
just
That's why I
my
lost my
beautiful
sign in.
glittering things with my beautiful glittery playlist. Oh,
Oh, I can just see it.
and I know one of the songs that I had was Alicia Keys' song
Yep.
"If I Ain't Got You."
Yep.
oh,
Man, good times, good times.
It was great for music, actually. MySpace.
It
There was
was
so much
great
great.
for music.
Yeah.
All that pirated music.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Remember?
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah,
do.
cause you could have a song playing, but you can also have a playlist of your top 5 or top 10, and people could go and listen to your favorites.
Yes.
And then
And
maybe leave you a comment on their favorite song. Sometimes you even get a comment and be like, I'm waiting on Messenger, where you at?
yes, man,
Oh, we're so old.
I
we
know.
are. Oh
young
man.
at heart, you know.
Those
Oh,
were the
Oh
best
my
of
gosh,
times.
that was man. I wish. What was his name? Tom. I wish he would come back.
Yeah,
Bring it
yeah.
back.
yeah.
Bring
I
it
miss
back.
Tom,
Like
my friend. He was my
Tom,
first internet friend who
he
wasn't
wasn't a
creepy.
jerk.
yeah. I mean, Threads was not it. I mean, who knows if Threads ever going to be anything? If they would have, if when X was doing its mess, switching, if MySpace had decided to make a comeback, I think that would have been it.
Oh, huge.
That would
Yeah.
have been it.
Would have been lit.
So
I've
did
been
Because a
there.
Threads?
lot of the times, people ask for things, like young people who never had any experience with MySpace, don't even know the name, ask for things and we're like, yeah, that was MySpace. We had that.
So was Threads was MySpace and then it became Twitter, or those are two different threads?
No,
Oh no,
Threads
Threads
is
is
from
a new
Instagram.
thing.
No.
Is a new
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Instagram is trying to do a Twitter kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
when
starting to feel
Apparently
very
missing.
old.
I'm not on
it was
Thread
a blip.
because apparently if you delete your Thread, then you delete your IG. And I'm like, no, I have curated my IG for far too long for a new thing to not work, or me just got tired of it and then I lose my IG. Hell no. No. So I don't have
Wait,
Yeah.
Thread.
is Threads the numbers
Yeah.
in people's bios that I'm seeing all the time?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, so then
I
you
did
if you
open
click
one.
on it.
Yeah. If you click on it, it'll go to their threads. And some people just have it just like I just claim my stuff because who knows what the next thing's going to be. Like I don't use Twitter, but I have it claimed. It's just because I don't plan on deleting it. I have no, it's not doing anything. So there's no reason to delete it. You don't have to
I mean,
use it.
if you can remember to like type my name, my entire name correctly, and if you manage to, replicate my SAS, then you're worthy of getting my username.
I
So
I went not kidding when I was because I remember back when the Kraken stuff was going down. One of the because I saw it happening, I'm like, what is going on? But it was kind of hard to follow anything that's on TikTok and stuff, and then on Twitter. It's just kind of hard to follow. But my niece, she did a breakdown of it, so I knew that it was there. So when I went to go look for it, I wanted to get the link from my computer, but I'm not logged in to TikTok on my computer. When I typed in her name, did you know that there are like 4 or 5 accounts with her name on it? And I'm like, none of these are it. If you're not logged in, it doesn't take you to her first. Even if you type in her name exactly how it is, it takes you to 01, 04. I'm like, who are these people with 0 followers? It's not her. She's got thousands of followers. Eventually I was able to find her, but I'm like, that's so shady. Who are you people?
yeah,
Is it
that's
her
why
just a
Facebook.
backup
If
account?
you
I don't know if it's her backup accounts or if it's just people pretending to be her. It's weird.
yeah.
It's weird.
For me in Facebook, it's hard to find me because I have it set up in like at least my profile, not my page, but my profile is very hard to find because I set it up that way. But even when I had it, there's a gazillion Esthers in like Central America and South America, and
I
there's a
kind of
lot of Dias too. There are not that many Anduhars, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, just you just have to ask me to send you a request because you're not
no,
gonna be able to find me and that gazillion Esthers out there.
It's like, which Esther is it?
no,
Yeah.
I thought it would be so cool naming. So after I changed my username like 3 times on YouTube and Instagram before deciding with one, and I regret it because there was none of those usernames there before, or at least the ones that were there were using like it was like the YouTube URL was that, but it wasn't the name of the account, so it was like sneaky weird, whatever. But and then I was like, okay, well, how do I make Charliee unique? But guess what? Now, when I search up Charliee on the internet, on Google search, there are so many spelt with. Why do people want to spell Charlie with an I and 2 E's? I don't know. I thought I'd be the only one who was
You
crazy
did
enough
it
to do that.
first. You started
But
the Charlie trend.
We're gonna have to go to 3.
Started a
We're
trend.
gonna have to be
Trendsetter right here.
The coolest Charlie. Everybody wants to be like the coolest Charlie. We got her.
Yeah.
She's ours. You can't have her.
it is
Oh
so good.
man. But yeah, that's what I tell people. I'm like, even if you're not going to use the platform, just if you have a specific name you want, just snag that name and forget about it. Just so that because honestly, the first one that I clicked on for my niece, and I know that it's how you do her name. She's my name is my niece. I was like, I literally clicked on the first one, and I'm like, where's all her tweets? I'm like, this is not her. I had to go back out and do it again, and I was like, wait, there are like using her same picture. There's like 5 of them, and I
Okay,
was like,
that's maybe creepy if it's the same
That's
picture.
creepy.
it's weird. So,
I don't
like I
like
said, one might be a backup account, but it was just weird. But it didn't seem like a backup account, because usually when someone has a backup account, they'll put on there, hey, this is my backup account, go here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Reggie's backup account 1, Reggie's backup
yep.
2,
Yep.
Reggie's
have
backup
you-
account 3 for
Yep.
that time he got taken down for pictures for kids.
That's right.
You know,
Yep.
it's always some weird shit. Sorry.
That's, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It's also have you seen those new things where it's like someone will put a post up for, oh, you lost your wallet, blah blah blah,
Oh yeah.
and then comments, it's just like all these people have created fake IDs or fake usernames going, it's Gary's mother, please I'll meet up with you so I can take my son's wallet back. Those are always funny, but also weird.
Yeah. And even no, hers did not show up first. I had to click on something else, like when I just did the search. So here's the thing, I wasn't logged into TikTok because I'm not logged in on laptop. I'm logged in on my phone. Didn't feel like looking at my login. I just wanted to get the link. So I just logged in. Not logged in. I just went on to TikTok page. I'll be right there, sweetie. Give me like 5 minutes. Are you leaving?
We've gone way over.
Yeah, we have gone over.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes.
Give me 5 minutes, dude.
Give me 5 minutes. They're agreeing with me. Give me 5 minutes.
We'll wrap up.
Yep.
We'll wrap up.
Okay.
Give me 5 minutes.
See you in November.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. See you guys in November.
We'll see you in November. Thank you guys. Deidre, I think is auditioning to be a co-host. She's like, I got all the tea. I'm like, oh, you do.
Hey, we're ready.
We need to see all your credentials. We need to know how many times you've used AI in the past month.
Are you an AI?
Are you an AI?
All of us better be in your top 8 on MySpace.
That's right. Are we in your top 8?
us.
I need to be at least top 5. Don't have to be number 1, but I'd like to be in the top 5.
I will be okay if I'm 6 or 7, just as long as I'm not the 8.
I'm not.
I don't have.
I don't want to be down at the bottom, because the bottom one is the first one to get knocked off.
Exactly. You're always on the edge. You're on the cusp. You're the one who's like, well, I guess I'm here until they meet their new bestie.
That's right. You're just hanging in there, like, I know, just waiting to be bumped back up.
I want an honorable mention, maybe a couple pictures, but not creepy pictures.
Yeah. Pictures that
not doing your stretches. No, none of that. All right, guys, we are going to say goodbye from here. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us for Authortubers React. We will be back for Friendsgiving, so stay tuned for the November schedule. And other than that, let me get this thing down so that we can go. You guys get to say goodbye with a little Loki. Bye.
Bye.